Hey, how y'all doing today?
Good morning, Coach. Doing well.
Hey, good morning. I'm trying this new
Good mo-
setup. Is the light good? Am I okay?
Yeah, we can see you fine. It looks good.
All right.
How are you today?
I'm good. I'm doing wonderful, doing wonderful. I went to well, with transplant, you actually have to register with different hospitals. And so I've already registered with one hospital. Another hospital is just too far away. I can't keep going up there so often. But there's another hospital that's on like 20 minutes from my house. It's a research hospital. And I went yesterday, um, and it was a 3 hour appointment, and I hated it. I hated it. I knew after 1 hour that I hated it. And then it just got worse and worse and worse. So I'm not going back. But my dialysis nurse said that there's another hospital about 40 minutes away that is good. She suggested I also register with them. But it's going well. And um for my event that's happening on September 21st, I asked them for a sponsorship. I told y'all, ask people for sponsorships.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah. But I'm feeling good. Levels are good. I'm stable. I'm good and getting better. Uh, but yeah. So there's a lot I have to share with you all today. Um, and so I want to get progress, uh, progress and updates from you all. And then I want to share with you all about this market crash, because it's going to change everything in your nonprofit business and your for-profit business. And I want you to know what to do. Um, I want you to know what to do when this happens. So um, let me hear progress first. Any updates, any problems that you all have that I can fix for you. And then I'm gonna go into this discussion on how this affects your nonprofit. And there was a question yesterday. Somebody sent me a question in the school community, and I told them that I asked if I could use it as a case study for today. But I don't remember off the top of my head who it was. So I I don't want to have to go through my messages. If you're here and that was you, you put a message. Maybe it was Garrett, Garnet, Tammy, Tanya, Tamik. Oh Lord. Your first initial is T, last name Garrett. All right. But you put the question in the school community. I asked if I could use that as a case study for today, because other people might be having the same problem. Tawana Garrett. All right. And did anybody see her here? And these lights are so bright, I can't read it.
No, coach, I don't see her in the participant list.
Okay. All right then. All right. Well, let's go on. Um, let's hear some updates, any progress, and any problems that I can help you all with.
This is Shelley.
Mm-hmm.
I did contact the Community Foundation of Western North Carolina.
All right. Tell me about it. How was it?
It went well. I talked with the lady, asked her a couple of questions based on the
Did you talk to Tara or Virginia?
Virginia.
Oh yeah, Virginia
Okay,
Dollar was awesome.
yes. And so had to determine whether my program is literacy or education because I told her financial literacy, so she wasn't sure if it fell under human services or education. And
Mm,
so she said it all depends on how I write the grant,
okay.
respond in the application. So and that's something for me because the one time when we had talked about with the community foundation, it was focused more on the a program for women,
Mm.
financial literacy. But this particular one, I'm not sure if I need to focus on just financial literacy in general, or do I need to focus on women who are retiring or about to retire, who
Mhm.
are retired about to
Right,
retire.
right, right. I'm going to answer your question. I'm going to elevate it for everybody else. So she contacted the community foundation. The community foundation in her region has a grant available called the Human Services Grant. The thing about the community foundations in all of your areas is that they are the holder of multiple different grants, and each grant has different requirements. And so when she contacted the community foundation and asked them about this particular grant that's available right now, they said to her that she has to pick a category. They could not automatically tell which category she fits in, either financial literacy or education. And it will all be dependent upon how she writes the grant. So the question for her right now is, which category, which category are you going to be in? Because that's going to determine uh, how you're going to be considered. And when you decide your category, this is the key. This is the secret to you deciding your categories. You want to be in the category that is least competitive. If you're in the category of education, you have to think who else is applying in the category of education. And will your grant and your program be able to compete apples to apples, orange to orange? Will it be able to stand toe to toe against an educational institution? Y'all get what I'm saying? You have to ask yourself, can I compete against another educational institution? If the grant is financial literacy, then you're competing against other financial literacy programs. And when you're writing a grant, you want to be inside the right category, but you want to stand out in that category. So it's not enough for you to just be in the category and be like everybody else. The question you want to ask yourself is, can I be in this category and stand out in that category? So can I be in the educational category and stand out? If the answer is yes, that's your category. Can I be in the category of financial literacy and stand out? If that answer is yes, that's where you want to be. And by stand out, we want to think about uniqueness and sustainability. Do I have access to enough people to sustain this? Do I have access to enough resources to sustain this? Will this thing turn heads? If I wrote about this thing, will the newspaper want to talk about this thing? Would they want to do a TV announcement about this thing? The public cable channel. Will they want to do a spotlight on the community on this thing? And so that's how you want to pick your category. Which for you, I think financial literacy would be you would stand out more.
Yes, I agree. Thank you.
All right. All right. Next. Okay. So somebody trying to come. Progress or problems before I go in. Okay. So you all know that the market crashed.
And,
Yes.
sorry. I think, I'm not sure if Tawana's off mute to be able to speak or not.
Oh, is Tawana here?
Yeah, she's here.
Okay.
Tawana, turn up you
There
might
she
need
is.
to
There
turn
she
your
is.
phone up.
Okay, I'm at work, so I'm trying to be incognito.
Oh,
Oh, all right.
okay.
All right. So tell us, and then you can put it on mute if you need. Do what you got to do, but let us know what's going on so I can walk through it for you.
Okay, I have one of my coworkers is have a nonprofit working with youth for video and audio, training them, uh, just teaching and he's holding fundraisers versus applying for grants.
Mm-hmm.
And we were just conversating, and I learned these things by talking because um, so I want to know, how can I help him? Where can I start here in Arizona?
All right.
Because he has a fundraiser coming up, but I figure it's for inner city youth.
All right. His fundraisers, are they online fundraisers or are they events that raise money?
Events. It's a bowling event.
Okay. All right.
That's
So one of the best ways that you can help him is through sponsorship. If you have Grant Suite, you can go and pull up the sponsorship letter. Now, because you're doing this for him and everybody that has Grant Suite, you can create a profile for his organization. And so you go and you click that organization It'll pre-fill the grants
Mhm.
with his information in it. All right. So you don't have to like
Okay.
start from scratch. Just create a profile. You go to add organization, create a profile for him, pull up the sponsorship letter for his events right now. Because he has an event coming up, he has a history of successful
Mhm.
events. People are already going to be there. He needs to be selling sponsorships. So that's where local agencies just give him a check. Today I picked up 3 sponsorship checks. One was for $500, one was for $3,000, the other one was for $700. Um, these were just checks that were in the mail in support of our events. You get what I'm saying? So
Yes.
you just print out that sponsorship letter for him. Um, and because you put him in your grant suite as a profile, you can actually
Mhm.
write those grants for him as well. So right now, sponsorship letter, and
Okay.
sponsorship. And he needs to send that sponsorship letter out to everybody that has ever been to any of his events. Also, his whole friend group, all his friends, all his colleagues, any and everybody, especially the city and the county. And you want to update this letter, say how many events he has had, tally up, just do an estimate. He's had this many events, and has seen uh, uh 2,000 people. Not, it doesn't have to be 2,000 people at one event, just all the people, like
Oh,
10, whatever, 100 here, 200 there, blah,
mhm.
blah, blah. You want to add that so that people can see his reach and
Okay. Okay.
that
And
sponsorship letter.
he's a Dr. Graham, I'm not a medical doctor, but he's a doctor. He's connected in the medical community with Mayo Clinic and so forth and so forth.
Yeah.
So he has connections everywhere.
Yeah, that sponsorship letter. And
Okay.
sometimes people that have connections, they lean on them and they do these events, etc. Um, and I
Hmm.
don't want to say spoiled, but that's just the closest word I can pull right now. They get
Hmm.
spoiled because their events are self-sufficient. They have the event, the attendees come, they raise the money, cover the costs, etc., right? But
Hmm.
for people that have to pull it out the mud, you don't always have the money up front. So you need the sponsorships to get the thing covered. You get what I'm saying? And what I
Yes.
believe is
Yes.
that when you're doing a sustainable program, that even if you have money, you're supposed to run it like you don't have money.
And that's
Raise
what he's
money like
doing.
you don't have any.
And that's why he's just doing the fundraisers. He's been in, I think he said 6 years, but it's not off the ground yet. So
Yeah. Yeah.
that's
So
what
do
he's
that
doing.
sponsorship letter and also invite just look up his city, type in community foundation for that city, that region, and also the community economic development department. Invite them, invite the United Way, invite the Red Cross. Um, there's one other United Way, Red Cross, Salvation Army,
Okay.
and invite
Okay.
all of them to come
Okay.
to the event.
Okay.
That's the quickest
Awesome.
way that you can help.
Hmm.
Of course, in the future, because you have Grant Suite, if you create a profile, you can also pre-write some grants for him.
Okay.
All
Awesome.
right.
He's also agreed and to be one of my fiduciary
Mm-hmm.
for my for-profit.
Wonderful, wonderful. Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to that relationship as well. Can I ask one more question
Yes.
before I disappear?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I am heading up a health wellness fair for my church.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I've never done this before, so I'm trying to get my feet wet.
Mm-hmm.
So since I'm using him as his organization nonprofit as a fiduciary, I
Mm-hmm.
can apply for some things for that as well.
Yes, that's correct. Yes.
Okay.
And so fiduciary is true, but it's just a lot of spelling. That's a lot of letters. So you can just call it
Mhm.
fiscal agent. Uh
Physical agent.
yeah,
Okay.
he's the fiscal agent for you. Um, and you can apply for all of the things and it is tax deductible because of your fiscal agent. All right.
Okay. Awesome.
Fiscal agent, fiscal sponsor. And if you're doing a health and wellness, you want to reach out to all the doctors and all the medical professionals you can. Get somebody to come and do free blood pressure checks, do diabetes screening, glucose. If you have a health education center, like the place where doctors go to finish their final tests, or a CNA school, get all of them to come out.
Mhm.
When you think of health and wellness, get all of them. The more you can think about inviting, the better it's going to be. And you don't want to think only about general doctors. You want to think about specialists. So imagine this. You want family physicians to come out, podiatrists to come out, obstetrician, GYN to come out, and each one of them have their own table. So that at your health and wellness fair, you can say, whatever is going on, it don't matter if somebody shot you in your pinky toe. We got somebody here that can help
Okay.
you out and hook you up. In return, they will pay to be part of it.
Okay.
You're
Okay.
selling them a table. Now, you can sell what you're comfortable at. I start at $1,000, but some people, when they're just beginning, especially if they aren't sure about the size of their thing, they'll do
Mhm.
$50 or $100 or $250. But can you imagine the value of your program if you invite 10 different doctors and each of them show up and have a table? So now you have 10 different health and wellness stations.
Oh, okay.
And if each one of
Nice.
them has made a donation of $100, you don't even have to, like, there's a way you can charge them in a nice way. You can charge them and make it voluntary. Say, well, many of the physician, the medical partners that come, they make a donation of $100.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying?
Okay.
So now you
Mm-hmm.
invited them to the place, and then you go back to your community. You say, y'all, we have 10 different doctors that are going to be here. And you do the same thing for physical trainers, for nutritionists, dietitians. And if it were me,
Mm-hmm.
when I think health and wellness, I also think about music and the arts. And I tell people, like, all of this is part of being healthy and having a balanced life.
Oh, okay. Right.
I would also go to the food bank
Yeah.
and see if they can bring by fresh fruits and vegetables as snacks.
Oh, I'm gonna have to go back and listen to this recording.
Yeah. When you think of an
Okay.
event, you want to think of it from all angles.
Okay.
And of course, always invite a bank. Always, 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 always invite a bank. Um,
Okay.
all right.
All right. Thank you.
No problem. Glad to help. All right. Anybody else?
Okay.
Mhm.
I have a question.
Yes.
With the 10 required registration for your nonprofit, I think I have all of them except for the maybe state solicitation license. So that's required
It,
regardless.
well, every state does not require it, but North Carolina does.
Okay.
And you should be aware that not only is it required in North Carolina, but when you go after city grants and Buncombe County grants, they will require it too.
Okay.
I was working with an organization that was awarded a grant and then was found out of compliance because they did not have the state solicitation license. And so the grant was about to be rescinded because they didn't have the state solicitation license.
Okay.
But you can get it. Just type North Carolina State Solicitation License. It's a very simple application, and they somebody will respond to you, and whoever responds, they actually, when I got involved, they actually approved it like within an hour.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
So it can be a simple process. All right, y'all. Anybody else? Any progress or problems? Okay. So y'all saw that that the market's crashing and there's this big sell-off. Um I'm in this session, I'm not gonna speak so much about economics, but simple as put, the stock market drives everything, and then everything is a ripple effect. And so there was a whole bunch of investments and borrowing that happened because the economy was strong and good. People were borrowing, and then the bank said, "Okay, you borrowed this much. Now we want our money back." So, big companies had to start paying big amounts of money back. When they started paying that money back, it was more than they had expected to pay back, and the money was more expensive. So they may have they may have borrowed like $1 million expecting to turn it into $2 million, but they hadn't turned it into 2 million yet, and they got to pay back everything. So they're selling off stuff in order to pay their debt. By them selling off things, it drives the price of everything. So when the stock market drops, things get more expensive, and they get more expensive because people actually have less money to spend. So you already saw stores closing. You already saw like different things happening with cars and with houses. But that's not a coincidence. That's not happenstance. That's actually a ripple effect. Now, some economists and people that follow the markets, they saw this stuff happening beforehand and they prepared. Um, One of the things that I do is look at the markets as it pertains to nonprofits and especially as it pertains to small business. So there's some things that you all need to be aware about for your nonprofits and how you can use your nonprofit status not only to float through this, but to thrive in this. All right. So I want y'all to pay close attention to this. And this thing that I'm going to share with y'all right now is probably the most important class of this whole year. This is the most important class, the most important information. All right. So you can take notes, write down your questions. Please don't interrupt me with questions. But I'm going to call for questions at a certain time. All right. But I don't want you to lose your question. I want you to ask your question, but I need to explain this, and I need to explain this so that everybody can get it. All right. So the the way that money works, money does not ever leave the planet. Money just changes hands. So in times of recession or economic downtrend, what happens is people spend less money on fun things. All right. So they're not going to spend as much money on Disneyland and amusement parks. They're not going to spend as much money um on things that are not necessary, things that are non-essential. All right. But they're going to spend money on things that are important to them, things that are close to their heart. So in your nonprofit, you want to build your heart connection with your people. So the people that would donate to you, you don't need them to donate a lot of money right now. What you need them to do is to donate small amounts of money. So you can do a $1, a $1 gift, $5 gifts. Now, it might look like $1 and $5 don't help nobody, but what you're doing is giving people a habit of giving to you. We have a Givelify, and there are people that give to my nonprofit $25 a month. I see those $25 come in regularly, $25, $27. And as they're coming in, it's relatively small amounts of money. But if you have 100 strangers giving you $25 a month, that's $2,500. And as a nonprofit, you can put your salary in the budget because you're running the nonprofit. You coming to these classes are part of your as an executive director. That's part of your work. All right. You navigate and resource for people, doing sponsorships, writing letters, making phone calls. All of that adds up. All right. So if you have 25 people, I mean, if you have 100 people giving you $25 a month, that's $2,500 that can come directly to you as a salary. So now that 2,500 spread over the year, well, let's just say 2,000 for the sake of good math, $2,000 a month for 12 months is $24,000. Now, $24,000 might not change your life, but in times of economic downtrend, and especially in a new nonprofit that you currently have the status for, and is already in place by the federal government, you can collect that $24,000 a year, and that could help you pay a bill, cover a house note, a car note, or something like that. All right. So you want to think about the nonprofit as a resource for you. Yes, you're giving back to the community, but it's not going to make any sense to give back to the community if it cannot also sustain you. All right. Now, and just to be clear, I am not talking to liars. I am not talking to people that are scam artists. I'm not talking to people that's trying to milk the system for everything they can. I am talking to people that care about their community, that have already made investments out of their own pocket, people that are working class, middle class folks, people that own business that are trying to do something not only for themselves, but for other people. And for all of those people, if that's you, those people deserve to get paid. And you're not stealing from anybody to get paid. You're not hurting anybody to get paid. All you're saying is that this nonprofit that I run has a salary in place for me, and that salary can be your second job. All right. You'll work with your accountant, you'll sign up for QuickBooks, maybe QuickBooks payroll, and just get your check every month or every week or whatever it is. All right. And the check, you're able to pay it because you have donations coming in. So you're not only waiting for the six-figure grants. I know that's the name of my company, but I don't only get six-figure grants, I get three-figure grants too. All right. I get three-figure grants. That's $100, $500, $700. I also get four-figure grants, $1,000, 2,000, 5,000, 6,000, 7,000. I also get what is five-figure grants. That's 10,000, 20,000. Also get six-figure grants. That's 100,000. Yesterday, one of my students was invited to apply for a $10 million. Well, I thought it was $10 million, but it's $20 million grant. And because the grant is already written, I was able to make it available to three of my clients, where each of them gets $6 million grants. But make no mistake, even though there are millions of dollars available, there are also hundreds of dollars available, and hundreds add up to thousands, thousands add up to tens of thousands add up to dozens of thousands add up to hundreds of thousands adds up to millions. And I remember there was somebody that actually took my class. They were in my class for a year, and they charged back. My class used to cost $3,500 for 6 months when other people were charging $3,500 for 6 weeks. They took my class for a whole year, charged back the class, asked for a whole refund after I taught them, had one-on-ones, everything, asked for a whole refund. Um, and their complaint was that my class was not organized. Now, part of their feedback, I was like, you know what? Maybe I need to have a syllabus. Maybe I need to go through a scheduled series of events that people can follow along. And so part of that experience was aggravating to me, but it did teach me and it helped me become better as an online teacher and coach. But I remember they said, I signed up so I could get a building. And people keep offering me these small grants. I don't want a small grant. I need this building. This building costs $2 million. I said, well, you have to start somewhere. They didn't want to start somewhere. They just wanted the $2 million building. And so it was what it was. And so anyway, um, you want to look at the nonprofit as your second job. All right. And that second job can raise money in multiple ways that you as an individual cannot raise. You can accept donations, you can accept, of course, sponsorships and grants. All right. So there are some things that you're going to see happen in the economy. I'm going to tell you about those things that are going to happen in the economy. I'm going to tell you what you can do with your nonprofit. And then there's a very important activity that I have for you that's going to help you kind of get started. All right. So some of the things you're going to see happen, you're going to see more repossessions. People are going to stop paying their car payments. You're going to see houses go into foreclosure. You're going to see people not paying their rent. If you have rental properties, and you rent out to low to moderate income people, you're going to see people paying their rent more slowly. And sometimes they're going to, use the system. And y'all know how the system is. I don't know if any of y'all remember your renter days when you were not as responsible, and sometimes you had the hustle to make it do what it do. You know that you can go a whole month without paying your rent, and then they got to send you a notice, and then you got a court date, and then after the court date, you can ask for a continuance, and after the continuance, then they do the financial review, and then y'all wonder how I know all this stuff, right? Before they can even put you out.
You're frozen, coach.
Coach, if you can hear us, you're frozen. Jason, if you can text him maybe.
Right in the middle of the good stuff.
Yeah, I know. See, that always happen. Always
Mm-hmm.
happen. But it's all right. I'm gonna finish this. So, people that ride on their rent, and it take a whole 6 months before they can put you out. But what happens if you're the property owner, and this is your second property, and you use the rent to pay mortgage? You get what I'm saying? Y'all get the picture? So people are going to start doing what they can to get by with what they can get by with. Bills are going to start being late. Credit card limits are going to come down. There are going to be a whole bunch of more deals and specials, because the economy is going to have to be stimulated. So you're going to see McDonald's offering the $1. Everybody's going to offer their $1 menu, their value menu. You're going to see on the commercials, they're going to talk about savings, saving. You'll save money doing this. This is the best deal, the lowest price. You're going to see them advertising lower interest rates. You're going to see car prices come down. You're going to see housing prices come down. You're going to see interest rates come down. And the goal is to get people spending. Why are they trying to get people to spend money? They're trying to get people to spend money because they are also building spending behavior, because they know that when things get tight, people stop spending money. All right. There's you also have to notice that during times of economic downtrend, the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. So you're going to see the disappearance of the middle class. You're going to see people that are middle class homes, middle class neighborhoods. They're either going to prosper because they're going to grow financially, or they're going to lose out and they're going to come down to a lower class. The market is changing right now. You can look at the S&P, look at the Dow Jones, look at the NASDAQ, look at all the reports, look at all of the things, and they're telling you all the same thing. And it's very real and very true. It's a very serious thing. It mimics what happened in 2008, when the housing market burst. And then after the housing market burst, um, they um, they came up with the stimulus check, and that check was $600. What were they trying to do? They were trying to increase spending behavior, and they did the calculation. They realized this $600 in and of itself is not going to change the life of a poor person, because that $600 didn't go to everybody. It only went to people that were poor. All right. This $600 is not going to change the life of a poor person. So what is it going to do? This $600 is going to increase their spending. They're going to get in the habit of spending. All right, that is the goal, to get poor people spending. All right. So, or to get more people spending. If you get poor people spending, then they spend in big businesses and small businesses, and then those business owners have more money, and then they can spend, and then those vendors for that business get more money, and they can spend. But if people that are consumers stop consuming, then it messes up the whole economy. All right. So, for you as nonprofits, what you have to prepare for is that people are not going to give to things they don't have connection with. They're not going to give, and you're going to see that grants become more competitive. Um, Grants that are already allocated are already in somebody's budget, but grants that are not yet allocated, like a grant that comes from a for-profit company, they might not have as many grants like the Vidal Sassoon grant or the Nordstrom's grant. They're not going to be as large, and you might even see them remove some of them. They're not going to be as available. There's another pocket of grants that is always very, very prosperous, and that's arts. So if you do anything with arts, community arts, youth in the arts, music, poetry, film, photography, videography, murals, acting, any of that, book writing, grants for arts are always consistently there and big, and you can look at those. Also, you're going to see a change in like Wells Fargo. They told me that they had lower amounts of money this year. However, when it came to my grant, they told me to increase my request by 5,000. So instead of giving me 20,000, they gave me 25,000. Well, why is it that they gave me more money when they had less money to give out? And they sent out an email to all of their grant recipients saying, y'all, we have less money to give out. Please don't think that we changed our mind about your company, about your agency, your organization. We just had less money to work with. But when it came to me, they gave me 5,000 more than what they gave me last year. Why is that? It's because of this one thing, because I built inside them a care and concern for my organization, actually reached out to them and met them. Now, there are some people that are here and in my training. And even though I teach you grant writing techniques and I teach you shortcuts to grants and all that stuff, there is nothing more valuable than reaching out and talking to a funding source. In fact, a grant, what is 75 times three? I just requested grant 25. What's 75 times three? Anyway, I asked for $75,000 for 3 years. So 75, 75, 75. That's 210, 225.
225.
Okay. I just asked the funding source for $225,000. Along the way, while I was writing the grant, I spoke to the board chair, the executive director, and the program director multiple times and asked them, is this one of the questions I asked? Our program, we're requesting 75,000 per year. That looks like it's above your $200,000 limit. They said, that's fine. It makes sense. Go ahead and ask for the 75 each year. Then we said, well, we don't know how to answer this question. She said, well, when we ask that question, go ahead and put this, put this, put this. Then we said, well, we actually don't know which one we should be in. Should we be in the program category or the general category? She said, well, I think you should be in the general category. Um, and then we said, okay, but we submitted our application and I forgot to change, click the box from general to program. And so I sent the email. This is after the grant was in, after the deadline, and said, I made a mistake. I was in the hospital on that day, and I forgot to make that change beforehand. She said, "Don't worry about it. I'll make the change for you." Now, when my grant goes before that committee, do you think they're going to recognize me? They're going to remember us. What have we built? We have built care. We have built care. So when I tell you all to email and ask a question, it almost doesn't matter what question you ask. And as you're learning, you should have questions. You should have questions like, what does this question mean? When you ask about this, what do you mean? When you ask for this attachment, what qualifies? Ask them a question. What you're doing, you're not only gaining information, but you're also building care for your organization. So that when they're sitting there looking at a whole bunch of applications of strangers, of these internet hustlers that don't know anything about grants and are just, submitting something, yours will stand out. Why? Because they care. How do you know they care? Because they know you. They might not know your address or your mama's maiden name, but they know your program. They recognize you. They remember, hey, he or she took the initiative and called and emailed and asked a question. I know that they're serious about this. All right. So those are some of the things that are going to be happening. You're going to see it. People are going to get roommates. They're going to be piling up in houses. Families are going to have grown kids still living with them. My kids are in college, so they still kind of technically live here. And all that stuff. Now, you as a nonprofit, what can you do? You as a nonprofit, what can you do? You can increase the interaction that you have with your people. And some of y'all have people around you and you've never told them about your nonprofit. What you want to do, Treat your nonprofit like Salvation Army treats its nonprofit. Send them an email asking for their donation, just a nominal amount. If you send out an email asking for a donation of $10 to help you address teenage pregnancy, help you house and feed the homeless, whatever it is. If you send out 100, 500 emails, somebody is going to give. All right, somebody is going to give. And what you have just built in them is a giving behavior, a pattern of giving. You want to ask them for a gift, but also give them the option to do a higher gift. Give them the option to do a monthly gift. And don't only ask people, ask all of the businesses. And when I say all, I mean all. Now, I'm a nice person. I am a nice person, and I intend to come across as a nice person. But sometimes, y'all, in my attempt to be nice, I think that my intention probably gets watered down. When I say go after everybody, I really mean everybody. I mean, like, I was in my doctor's appointment and asked them for a sponsorship. You get what I'm saying? When I say everybody, I mean everybody. When you go to the ice cream shop, when you go to the grocery store, wherever it is that you go, wherever you spend money, ask those people for a donation. Some of y'all have not even reached out to your community economic development department, but you come here every week and haven't even talked to those people. You sent one email, they didn't respond to that email. Send an email to everybody in the department. It don't even cost you no money to send an email. Email the congressman, email the senators, email the city council. One of my clients, Delana, she was just giving. When I saw the email, when I saw the message, I said, "You mean they gave you a 6-bedroom, 5-bath house?" She said, "Yes, they gave her a 6-bedroom, 5-bathroom house." Now, the thing is, just 2 months ago, she was looking for a house and saw a house, and the realtor prejudged her and didn't show up to show her the house. He was prejudiced against her because she's a Black woman that was on disability. And what he didn't know is that she was coming with a check to pay for the house in cash because she had received a grant to purchase a house for a domestic violence shelter. And then just last week, somebody donated her for free a 6-bedroom, 5-bath house, and then told her that they have a 12-bed facility that if she wants that, she can have it too. Said, "You mean to tell me they just gave you a house?" She said, "Yeah, coach, they did. Now I just have to get it fixed up." So that means that she has the 6-bedroom house for free, and she has the grant that was there to buy a house in cash. Y'all don't understand what I'm saying to you, but y'all be in here playing games and y'all be in here like pretending. And I know the imposter syndrome sits in. I know you second guess yourself sometimes and you get a little timid and you might feel uncomfortable, especially if you're a Black person asking white people for money. Like, I understand it, but understand this: there is no money in any white pocket in America that is not built upon the backs of Black people. We built this country in slavery and they paid us zero, zilch, nada, nothing. All right. And so while all the companies were being built, while all the banks were being built, while all the factories were being built, we were building them, working in them, establishing them and everything. And it was done on our backs for free. So when I ask for money, I am not asking for a handout. I'm asking for the reallocation of resources, which is to say that there is money in abundance over there. I helped build that abundance, and now I just want a little bit so I can help make the community better for everybody. And in consideration of your kindness, you get a tax write-off and you get to be my friend for a year. But people they come in and they learn this stuff and they don't even try. So here's the other thing. Not only do you want to ask everybody, and the quickest way to ask everybody is to do an email blast. And then also do a social media. And when you do the blast, you want to be everywhere. So you want to send the email at the same time you make the social media, social media posts. And you don't want to just post it once. You want to post it every day for like a month. You want to do a campaign. Do you get it? The next thing that you want to do, use your nonprofit as a social enterprise. Each one of your nonprofits serves the community in a way. You have to think, is there a product that your nonprofit can sell? Now, people go to the Goodwill thrift store because the stuff is cheap, but they also go because it's a good cause. People come to my coffee shop. Well, my coffee shop, we just raise our price. So we're more expensive than Starbucks. All right. We're more expensive than Starbucks. But people come to my coffee shop partially because of the nonprofit focus, the community focus. What you want to do is give people a reason to spend money with your nonprofit. If you don't want to do business as a small business owner, that's fine. But as a social enterprise, your nonprofit, and this is what I designed. I designed a model where nonprofits can create and own for-profit subsidiaries. You might not want to create a whole LLC that's owned by your nonprofit. You might not want to do all that. But um can you sell a journal? Can you sell clothing? Can you sell a class, a course, a webinar? You can package up your information. And just like I can create a course, you can also create a course. And you might not want to charge what I charge. You might not want to do all the work that I do, all the research that I do. But maybe you can package something and say, if you make a donation of at least $20, I'll give you all of my information on this topic. And all they have to do is click, make the payment, and download the information. Y'all, the economies are changing. Things are moving. Money is not disappearing. It's just changing hands. So what you have to do is make sure that you have a bucket that money can go into. Make sure that you have a hand that's ready to receive it. All right. So let's take some questions. Hold on. Let me make sure I went over everything. You can accept donations, smaller donations. You're going to write grants. Make sure you're using Grant Suite. Email your city council, your state, all of your elected officials. Let them know about your programs. Ask them for donations. Ask them uh, who you can connect with. When you apply for grants, make sure you send a question. Make sure you ask if you can meet with the people. If you're in one of those cities that has the community economic development grants available right now, you're emailing asking about the grants. If you're in one of those cities that has those grants, they're not available right now, but they're going to become available later on in the year. You can email those people right now, ask them for a copy of last year's winning proposal, and ask them if they can meet with you because you have some questions about this year's grant coming up. Ask them if they can provide for you any technical assistance. If you ask for technical assistance, they're going to say yes. If you ask them for help with the grant, they're going to say no. But really, they're the same thing. All right. And then the last thing, you want to create a product or create a service that somehow fits in with your mission. If you have a young people's literacy program, would those young people be willing to clean up the yards of elderly people? Would they be willing to do that? All right. If they do it for free, would they be willing to do it for a $50 donation or a $100 donation? 50 goes to them and 50 goes to you, um, or to the program, so that it can cover your salary. Would you be willing to do your own type of thrift store, a pop-up shop? All right, where people donate things and then you sell it. Of course, you can do fundraisers, but think about products. Think about the fact that there are nonprofit hospitals. Those nonprofit hospitals charge people money, a bill. Well, what can you charge as a bill for your nonprofit? All right. Y'all hear me pick on Alina a lot. And partially because I really like her concept of her nonprofit, Grandparent Assist. Yes, she can raise money to assist grandparents. But what if Grandparent Assist had a department where people would pay for companions for grandparents? And then Alina is just the middle person that gets paid a percentage of what goes to that person. Maybe they pay a companion $20 an hour, and Alina gets two of those dollars. All right, of every hour that 100 people working. It's to support to support grandparents that are taking care of grandkids. All right. So I'm gonna open up right now for questions. You all can ask me anything. Of course, I know the economy is changing, and the products that we have available to you. If you have Grant Suite, you have the ability, and maybe you didn't know this, if you have Grant Suite, you have the ability to set up nonprofits for other people. Now, if you don't want to, you can send them to me, and we'll do it. I will gladly accept their money. But you have the ability to do it. You also have the ability to do grant research for people. You have enough information right now. Now you cannot resell my thing if you're not an affiliate. But if you want to be affiliate, you can sell my stuff to people, and you make, I think it's 20%. And so, like, if something costs $100, you can get $20 just for helping somebody have access, and you didn't even have to do the recording. All right. So let's take some questions that any of you might have.
Good morning, Coach. This is Shameen.
Hey.
I had a question about social enterprise. Could you expand on that a little bit?
Yeah. A social enterprise is a business model. And this business model considers three things: people, place, and profit. It honors people. So it's not about taking advantage of people, it's about celebrating people. It honors place, like wherever you are, having a respect for that neighborhood, that city, that culture, that group of people, that environment, the river, the trees, the Black history of the neighborhood, etc. Something about honoring place. And then profit. You want to generate a profit. You got to get more out of it than you put in. This is called the triple bottom line. And when your business or your organization is operating with this triple bottom line, it is considered a social enterprise. It's not just an enterprise, it's a social enterprise. What makes it a social enterprise? Because we care about people, we care about place, and we care about profit. What I do, even though my coffee shop is a for-profit company, it is a social enterprise. My MBA, my master's degree, is an MBA in social entrepreneurship. The model that I created for the state of North Carolina is a social enterprise model. The nonprofit that I run, and all of the nonprofits that I ran, they have their nonprofit activity, and part of their work is to create products. For example, we had a culinary training program that trained people to become chefs in restaurants. But while they were working to become chefs in restaurants, we took in catering orders, and people paid for catering. That made us a social enterprise.
So would that be classified as a B, the B certification? Is that how that works?
A B certification, the B means benefit. So there's B certification and there's B Corp, benefit corporation. That is a new designation. There's some whack jobs out there. There's some very solid B certifications and B Corp designations. These entities that are a B Corp or B certified are doing that exact thing at a very high level, and they have been certified by an outside entity. What I'm talking about does not require any certification. I'm saying that wherever you are, you can function in this way. But to your question, is that what a B certification does, or a B certified company does? Yes. Is that what B Corps do? Yes. But do you have to be a B certified company and a B Corp to do it? No.
Okay, I see.
Okay. All right. Next question.
I have a question, Coach. This is
Mhm.
Deanna. Someone asked me this week about the difference between a 508 and a 501, a C3.
Mhm.
So I said, I wanted to come back and ask you because they thought that it was more beneficial because it didn't have the same requirements for the IRS. But when I read up on it, it does not have the same reporting requirements. But I said I wanted to ask you what your opinion was on it because this is new to me.
All right. So the 501c3 is the most beneficial and easiest to access. All right. The 508, it gives some benefit, but when people donate to it, it is not automatically tax deductible. And in the world of grant seeking, it does not qualify to receive grants. So then if they like there are people that are trying to avoid reporting. Well, if you're getting free money, you got to do something. Like you didn't have to work for the money. The least you can do is report on what you did with the money. You get what I'm saying?
Exactly. That's what I thought when I looked at it. I'm like, well, if you want to get grants, they normally fund and they'll say 501c3. But when
Right.
I look at some of the grants that are available, they do not list 508.
They won't because they don't include 508s.
Thank
You
you.
can be a nonprofit in a bunch of different categories. Like there's a 504, there's a 501c4, 501c6. There are lots of different categories, but the 501c3 is the most beneficial to the common person, to the common citizen.
Thank you.
All right. All right. Other questions?
Hi, Coach. This is Christy.
Hey. Hey.
Um, I'm new. I'm still new.
Mhm.
I just recently got my 501c3, and in emailing the Economic Development Department, um, what would I be asking for? Like, I'm going to email everybody in generally,
Mhm.
and I wanted to create like one good email. I don't have a product or service to offer,
Okay.
um, but I do like if you're just asking for that small donation and maybe $25.
Mhm.
Um, and I have sent out emails before to the mayor requesting a building or requesting grants. What would be a good thing to just, how would I form a letter asking
Mhm.
for donations for a new nonprofit that hasn't really scratched the surface yet?
Okay. All right. So even if your nonprofit is new, you do have some charitable purpose because you wrote it in your application. So the best way to do that is to do a press release. Now you can write a press release by hand, or you can use ChatGPT to do it. Um, and say, ChatGPT, can you write me a press release talking about my new nonprofit that addresses this problem in the city, and ask for a donation at the end, and it'll write a press release that's like 500 words, which is relatively short. And you want to do two things. You want to send that press release to people, send that press release to everybody, like announce that press release big time. All right. Send it to the radio, the TV station, newspaper, cable company, send it to everybody. It's going to feel like nobody should pay attention to you, but it doesn't matter. Send it out to everybody because you're creating a habit of them seeing things from you. Then your email to the community economic development people. We have emails inside of Grant Suite, but here's a brief email that you can send. And let's say the community development person is Megan Smith. Hello, Megan. Uh, this is such and such from blah blah organization. Um, I was writing to ask you some information about the upcoming grants. Do you have about 5 minutes to answer some questions that I have about the grants from your department? And they're going to respond. And when you
Thank
talk
you.
to them, you want to say, can you give me the website to your grants? Can you tell me who qualifies, what type of activities? But all you're asking them is, do you have about 5 minutes to answer some questions I have about the grants from your department? Now,
Okay, I will
remember,
do that.
the goal is not only to get information, but the goal is also to introduce yourself to them so that they can care about you.
Okay, so I'm creating the press release and I'm going to send that out to everyone, the
Yes,
newspaper, radio, TV. And then am I also going to send the newsletter to the Economic Development Department as well?
yes,
Okay.
they should be on your list.
Okay, and send it to city council, send it to everybody,
Yeah,
like just
everybody,
as an introduction to who I am and what I'm doing.
everybody.
All right, that's a good starting place. Thank you.
And then the email specifically to the Community Economic Development Department says this.
Got it.
Okay. And if you do it in this way, what has happened is they got your email, whether or not they read it, they got your email and they saw it. Then when you talk to them, you get to say, I sent you our press release. Did you get it?
Mhm. Should I create a website first? A web page?
Yes, they're gonna look you up.
Okay. So
They are
first
gonna
do that.
look you up. I know we typically do websites only for our Powerpages folks. I might need to break it down and do websites for others.
Yeah, I used your for other program where you applied for the nonprofit for me and did the 501c3 and wrote a few grants. I didn't give the other program you have.
Yeah, Powerpages is 10,000. And we might need to, just because of how the economy is changing, we might need to break that down.
So can the
We
website
did.
just be a one page landing page?
Yeah,
Okay.
The website can definitely be a one-page landing page. Maybe a one-page landing page. It needs to have your mission on it, some pictures of you, your history, and your programs, and a donate button. Yeah. And if anybody wanted us to just do your website, well, I don't have a payment link right now, but we'll do that for $100. So, it's just your website, and it'll be the nonprofit website. So if you needed a website, if you don't have a website, you need to have a website that can receive money, and we can set that up for you. Just DM me requesting the website.
Where we send that information to?
Facebook Messenger.
Facebook.
Mhm.
I don't think I have Facebook. Your Facebook. I'm
Oh,
missing
it's
out.
Joseph Hackett. Um, um, Send a direct message. Writers, can you follow up with her? Um, I don't know which of the writers are here.
Um, I had a question about the
Mhm,
website.
mhm.
Do you, I remember you saying that you have to put who your board is on the website as well? Okay.
Yeah, yeah. You want to put your board members on there, because there are some donors that like they want to know that you have board members. The idea of board members, number one, is a requirement, and then number two, um, it shows accountability.
So, Coach Hackett, on the nonprofit booster, is the website included with that? Is that separate?
I don't remember.
Okay,
But I'll
that
check.
was, for some reason I was thinking that it was part of it because I'm about to finish. I started my trial and plan to use the full program, and I was just trying to see if I need
Okay.
to request a separate website if that's not included in there.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll check. Well, send me the question in Facebook Messenger,
Okay.
and
Okay.
we'll look and find out.
Okay.
Mhm.
Was Christy finished? Because I had something after Christy. I wasn't sure if she was finished or not.
I have one more question. I have Grant Suite,
Mhm.
and I have a problem with trying to figure out how to find specific grants for what I'm looking for. Like it seemed like I can never find something in my area. I don't know if it's something I have to request and then it's uploaded, or is it just getting the templates and using that templates and applying it to my area? I don't know.
It's both. So the templates that apply to any area are the letters to city council and sponsorship letters and emails. All of that stuff applies to any area. So if you go to Grant Suite and type in letter to city council, um, even if it shows Detroit City Council, you can remove that Detroit person and put in your city council person, and it still applies. All right. Um, but we have just uploaded. We have a list of 4,000 banks, and the team has been uploading about 20 bank grants per day. So, and I asked them to prioritize the states that you all are in. So, if your city or state, you want to tell me what it is?
I'm in Texas, Beaumont, Texas.
Oh yeah, we got stuff for Texas.
Okay.
Yeah. So when you're looking for grants for your program, you are like if you have an after school program, you're not looking for after school grants. Tell me the nature of your program.
Community
What
development.
type of program do you have?
Community development program is for I'm doing it for the homeless and
Okay.
also, yeah, those that's in nursing homes.
Okay. So if you have a homelessness services program and a program for people in nursing homes, don't type in nursing homes and don't type in homeless. What you need to do is write down a list of all the things you need. You need food, you need staff, you need equipment, you need TVs, you need cell phones, you need vital records, et cetera, et cetera. Like write down all the things that you need and you look for grants for those things. So if you want food for the homeless, then you're looking for food. If you want supplies for the homeless, you look up supplies. Does it make sense?
Yes.
So you're not looking for the thing you're looking for the pieces.
Got it. Okay. I'm looking for the wrong thing.
Okay. All right. And Texas has some really good foundations. So type in go to Google and I think we might have some Texas Foundation grants in there, but whatever grants are not in there, we can write them and put them in there.
And do I just put that in school saying, hey, can you add this grant to,
Yep.
okay, Grant Suite. Thank you.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. Next.
Um, on Grant Suite, I am applying for a pre-application for AARP for a new grant they have. How can I use either Grant Suite or Chat GPT to possibly respond to the pre-application? What's the best way? Just kind of put in what they're requiring and
It's the AARP pre-application.
yeah, it's a pre-application and
Uh-huh.
and
Send
they
it
it's a new
send
program for
send it to us so that we can write it because somebody else might need it.
okay, so how do I send it to you?
In the school community or
Uh-huh.
at support at Hackett's UK.
Okay. Okay. And just okay. All right. Thank
Mm-hmm.
you. One other question on the email. I think I may have asked one this already, but I have a Gmail for my organization, but I understand a professional email is probably better. That is not a Gmail account.
A professional email is better. It is better, but very different from the for-profit community. It's okay. It's okay. I mean, it's not a problem in the nonprofit world. However, if you have a 501c3 nonprofit, go to Google for nonprofits, and they will give you a free Gmail. I mean, the free name at Gateway Group, for example.
Okay. So you said a Gmail is okay for a nonprofit. Okay. Okay, I was going. Okay.
However, for everybody here, Google for nonprofits will give you, last time I checked, $10,000 in ad spend, a free domain, and a free professional email.
Thank you.
And just go to Google and type Google for nonprofits.
Right, thank you.
The question I have is about the executive director as opposed to the board, because if I recall, you were saying in order to receive a salary, you need to be listed as the executive director and not be a part of the board. Is that correct?
That is correct. The board is not paid. Board is volunteer.
Okay, and you can't be like the founder either, right? You can't say I'm the founder and get a salary. You gotta have that title, executive director, for it to be clear.
The founder is not an official title. The founder is an affectionate title. So the only official titles are executive director, that's official. Board chair is official. Board president is official. But founder is not official. That's just an affectionate thing. So you are either the executive director, CEO, or you're the board chair. The executive director, the CEO, those positions can get paid. Board chair cannot. Now, what can happen is if the board chair owns a company that sells things to the nonprofit, then the nonprofit can pay that company, but the board chair cannot get a salary as board chair. All right, y'all, anything else?
I have a question. This is Tawana.
Yeah.
Okay, if in Phoenix, Arizona, and the surrounding communities, as they call it, for the after school, the nonprofit after school for youth and audiovisual, and the other, what would I look in Grant Suite for?
All right. When you're looking for grants, you want to list out all the things you want, and you look for grants for those things. So audiovisual, I will look at the Sony grant for technology. Also look at your community economic development departments. They can pay for multiple things. Also youth grants, health and wellness, because youth need to run around and they need to move. If you're going to serve food, you need food. If you're providing staff, maybe the staff are people that used to be in jail and they're helping keep other people out of jail. So that's criminal justice, youth deferment, reentry. You have to just look for the list of things that you want. Don't look for the title of your program.
Okay. Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
All right. Sean, you had a question?
Yes, sir. When you was talking about the executive director, are you allowed to be both, or you need to pick one or the other?
No, you have to pick one or the other. And the way you do it is you should remain board chair until you have dollars coming in. Once you have dollars coming in, then you can decide, do you want to be executive director and receive dollars as a salary, or do you want to continue to be board chair and just let the dollars pay your company?
Makes sense. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And what were we? So if you need a website, you're sending me a direct message for the website. Some people were trying to wanted to go after the grant from last week. What was it called? Started with an M.
Mildred's Dream. Was it
Yeah,
Mildred's?
Mildred's Dream. Yeah, I encourage you all to apply for it. They want to spread out and serve more places in the community. So look at it. If somebody, if you wanted us to write it for you, it would be like $500. I think they typically give out 5,000. You can request more. He said that they would be trying to do more, but if you wanted us to write it for you, it would be 500. Now the thing is, and y'all remember this: whenever you pay any grant writer, whatever they write for you, you should be able to use that over and over again for other grants. So the $500 is not just to get this one done, it's to give you stuff that you can copy and paste into other things. All right. But I encourage you all to write that grant. That it's a great agency, and he was here and told you about it. So you want to pay attention to that. All right. I think that's all. Was there anything else?
Coach, I did have a question regarding the Mildred's Dream. So for that grant or any grant, you did say either we or other people that would want us to do it, they have to pay up front first for the grant to be written.
That is correct. That's
Okay.
correct. The Association of Fundraising Professionals. So grant writing is considered a fundraising professional. We have a code of ethics, and one of the principles in the code of ethics is that we are not paid out of the grant, that the grant is for the agency. So whatever agency pays us is their investment in their mission. And what we're supposed to do is do our very best so that even if they don't get awarded this grant, they're supposed to be able to use what you wrote and apply for other grants. It's not supposed to be like a cereal box, like you go and once that cereal box is gone, you got to go buy another cereal box. That's not how it's supposed to be. You're supposed to be able to take one thing that was written, especially for you, and use it over and over and over again. So for Mildred String, if somebody asked us to write that for them, what you would get is not only that written so that it qualifies for that, you now have something that's written specifically for you, tailored for you, that you can apply for other things.
Got it. Thank you.
And for anybody that wants us to work with you, you have to be prepared because we are going to contact Mildred Foundation for you. We're going to walk you through exactly how to do this. You know what I mean? So that you have a bigger positive, they shine a more positive light on your grant. It's not just the grant writing; it's the networking that you do behind the scenes. All right. So anybody that want us to do it, and the reason it's $500 because during our one-on-one, we're going to contact Mildred Foundation, and so you'll be on the phone with me as we kind of walk through with them and introduce them to you. All right. Now I think we only have 2 spaces available left for the VA bootcamp, training your VA to write grants for you. Y'all just keep that in mind. If you know anybody, you can refer them to us. I think that's it for today.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Coach.
All right, y'all. Y'all take care.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you.